Good day. How is everyone? Hello, Denise, and hello, CJ. Greetings. Today is Thursday, June 20th, 2024. That Thursday, if I didn't say that already. So I have a little fan blowing this morning. We'll see how it does with the candles. It doesn't usually, candles don't like breezes, but it's kind of stifling here. But really, it's not that bad. Let's get started with morning prayers and continue on with the theological virtue of charity today, caritas. And let's get started. And one thing I want to mention, Sister Jeannie and I were discussing the chapel veil and its use in history, and she's been doing some research. So I'm going to ask CW if he chimes in or listens in later or CJ if you have time, either way. We're trying to gather as much information on the use of it and to make sure that it is appropriate or not appropriate. And from what our gatherings is it seems like it could be either way. I like it due to the respect of the chapel area, and of course for the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany and things like that. I'm just curious where it originated. So let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany and in Catholic contemplation humbly adore the Divine Family. Venerate the Divine Family. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Dei Matronam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things, with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the Trinitarian Theophany the graces which are necessary to us. Thou knowest my weakness, O Trinitarian Theophany, that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Dei Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Caritas, charity. The third and very, very important, some say the most important virtue. And it is because it can be described as being one who is exudes selflessness, generosity, humility, is complementary, is giving, and gives not only in a financial aspect, but giving of time and patience and love. If we contemplate on those descriptors, we may increase in ourselves that virtue of charity. And if we contemplate it regularly, it becomes a habit. And it then becomes natural, and it moves one to that state of union with the Trinitarian Theophany. Charity is also holding one's tongue. When one is tempted to say something that they know they shouldn't. Charity is also saying something when you should, like to help someone understand a sin that they might be involved in or committing. And those are the times that can be tough, especially when today's world is so full of sinfulness. And we have to do it in a charitable manner. Because if it's harsh, the charitable correction is taken because the ego of that sinful nature will just use that as an excuse not to listen. So we have to do it in a caring and charitable manner. So let's increase our contemplation on that over the next few days. I want to mention also that we are approaching a full moon. Tomorrow is the summer solstice, and a time for extra prayers for peace and for those who are struggling with health and especially pray for those who are involved in witchcraft and things like that. We need to combat that. I wanted to talk again on monarchy, the next subchapter here in this Fatima Crusader booklet from the winter of 2015, and I will add or change some things that I see that I would recommend. So they're talking now about commerce. They were talking about money and banking yesterday, and usury, and how usury will not be allowed. And there's some good things in here I'm going to mention. Okay, so in a Catholic state, workers who are productive and reliable would be paid a living wage, so that a married man employed full-time could adequately, but not luxuriously, support a wife and as many children as the Trinitarian Theophany may see fit to send them. This would necessarily entail some limits on business profits, as wealth would need to be widely distributed and not excessively concentrated in the hands of a few. Now, this Americanism is contrary to that understanding, because Americanism is individualism and is based more on self. And here's where Catholics get accused of being socialists, but in reality, it's not socialism. Okay, it's the opposite of the employer or the owner of the company. It's him being generous, charitable, not greedy. Okay, so he would have a responsibility to care for the families of his employees, the people that work for him. Now, here they're mentioning corporations would either be forbidden or strictly limited in size. Okay, and if I am going to be involved in this setup of a Catholic state, they will be forbidden. Okay, the large corporation, a colossal fictional quote-unquote person that never dies and lacks an immortal soul answerable to the Trinitarian Theophany, is a moral abomination that lacks an immortal soul. So it's very clever, okay, how these entities, again, you have to think that they're immoral from the start. Okay, business enterprises should be owned and operated personally at the local level, and in most cases should not be allowed to expand beyond the boundaries of the county in which they are founded. And I agree with that. Okay, there's this argument about the corporations that, it helps prevent people from suing the owners and the owners losing everything. And that also would be addressed in a Catholic state where there would be the laws would be corrected so that would not happen, or at least the devastation of an entire company, unless, of course, it needs to be. Most people ought to invest only at the local level, where management people and their personal reputation and business practices can be known and observed. Okay, it used to be that the local bank would agree to give you a loan based on who you were, your character. Okay, and again, that's going to come back into fruition. Again, the loan would be without interest payable. I'm going to get into Okay, so that's what they'd speak on commerce, and and when you think about that at a local level, it would see the thing people get programmed into their heads is like, oh well, it's cheaper at Walmart, and the whole programming of all of this stuff that we've been drilled in will get changed, and it's amazing to see so many actually fight for this immoral system to remain. They have no idea what it would be like to be free. Honestly, they have no idea. Okay, agriculture. Catholic social policy should encourage a return to the land where both manufacturing and agriculture should be pursued on the scale of local businesses. Corporatized agribusiness deprives a large percentage of the population from the opportunity to live in close proximity to the land in closely knit human-sized communities. Absolutely, I agree. The other thing that we would have to do and set up is a re-education, not re-education, but an educational program to teach agriculture again. Okay, so to help teach food preparation, canning, and storing goods, and then you have the farming and how to care for your trees. And I started doing these sorts of things, a few, maybe 5 or so years ago. There is a learning curve, so we have to get started on that now, because we're coming back to that, and I'll get into that later in the series. Maybe I'll begin a new series on what is the 3 days of darkness and what is the MCO, things like that. All right, so that is going to conclude my talk for this morning. And so please practice the virtue of charity today and every day. And if you've stayed subscribed, thank you for that. We go up and down. I think people hear what I say and they like what I say. But then when they find out what we believe, that's a major challenge for them, and that many are not able to discern. They need to be able to discern, and that's a practice. You have to practice discernment. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Deum vobiscum, quoque apote. Oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum hoc immaculatum hostium, quam ego indignus famulus tuus offeri tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus, et negligentiis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed pro omnibus fidelibus, Catholicorum vivis aquae defunctis ut mihi et idis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem midibiditur, contradisti et midibidus reformasti da nobis, peruius atquae et vini mysterium eius de vinitatis esse consortes qui militatis nostrae fieri dignotis es paterceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui ticum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum da pacantes clementium, ut gespeto divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra totius mundi salute, cum adore suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito, suscipiamur te Deum Iesum Christum, et sequiet sacrificium nostrum mic gespeto tuo hodie, uplacia tibi Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificita plata pro secundo, et accapere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini praeparatum. Suscipe sancta Trinitas contemplationem cum tibi afferimus, salvamonem passiones, resurrectiones et descensiones Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Dei matronam nostrae, et a Papa Peter Sanctorum, et Istorum et Omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiet ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere dignentur in caelis, quorum amorem agimus in teris, per inum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meam ac vestum sacrificium acceptabile fiat apud Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis ad laudem et gloriam nomini sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te sursum corda, habemus ad Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te igitur clementissimi Mater, et Pater Deum Matram Nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum Nostrae, supplices rogamus ac petimus. Uti accepta habeas, et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificium ilibata. In primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire ad honore et regere, digneris tot orbi terrarum atquae catholicae. Memento Deum familiarum creatuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering, especially Katie, Gage, Neil and Earl Lively, Mindy Claret, Maria Josephina Mose, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mr. Nobody, Ann Tink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron, and family, Maria and the Lineweber family, John Kyle, the Cahill family, the Dasco, Nye, Tafur, Began, and Wolf families. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantes Catholic Council office at Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse, human trafficking of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange. We pray for courageous Catholic men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society. We ask for quote-unquote gay marriage to be banned and a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly, holy Trinitarian Theophany type femininity. We ask that women cease working for Freemasons and corporations everywhere, and that they come to understand that raising of traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic society. We ask that pornography in the OnlyFans platform be stopped immediately and forever. We ask that the Vatican law be corrected and its current form be destroyed, which is the Jewish Talmud, that you destroy Rome and the Vatican and recognize that all recognize the authority of the Catholic Church to be in Portugal. We ask you to release the souls controlled by the demons Lilith and Asmodeus, and to save or transfer the souls from under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason that gives support to Israel. We also ask you to continue blocking the passage of any so-called pandemic treaty by the WHO, which is based on lies and aimed at removing the divine family's children's freedom to move and travel. We also ask you to eliminate that organization altogether. All these things we ask in accordance with the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est et nota devotio pro quibus tibi offerimus, vel qui tibi offeruntox sacrificium laudis processuis omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum pro spe salutis et egulamitatis suae, tibique redunt vota sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memonem venerantes imprimis gloriosae, semper Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum, Papae Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum, quorum meritis praecibusque concedas ut in omnibus protectiones tuae muniamur auxilio per innum Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratum acceptabilem que feceri dignitis ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat didictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretor, accepit panem in sanctus ac venerabilis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum, ad te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fregit didique lumnis sui dicens, accipite et mandocate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simili modo postquam ceremonia est, accipiens et hunc praeclarum calicem in sanctus ac venerabilis manus suas item tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit didique lumnis sui dicens accipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum. Haec ut est cum feceritis in mea mona facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sede plebs tua sancta eiustem, Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beatae, passiones nec non et ab inferis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis, offerimus praeclare maestati tuae de tuis donis ac datis, supra quae propitio ac sereno utur respicere digneris. Supplices, te rogamos Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ibi hec perferi per manus tuum, ut quod ex hoc altaris participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem sumsenimus, omni sanctificatione caelesti et gratia repamur per innum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Gertrude Arrigo, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum, qui ascentibum locum refugirii lucis et pacis ut indulgeas deprecamur per illum Christum Deum nostrum. Perquem haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso est tibi Deum Patrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria Ave Dea matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea matronam nostrae matram, Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos, quaesimus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente, beata, gloriosa, semper Deum matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis, da propitios pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato simus, semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per eundum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum, filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Haec mixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipientibus nobis in et salutam aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, cooperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum per mortem tuam unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis, et unaversis malis, et fac me tue semper in harare mandatis et nunquam separare permittas, qui cum eodem Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indignus sumere praesumo, non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad tutamentum mentis et corporis, et ad me delam peticipiendam, qui vivis et regnas cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem calestim accipim et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Dea matronam nostrae non sunt dignus, ut intercedete meus, in tanto dec verbos in abeturanum mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignus, ut intercedete meus, in tanto dec verbos in abeturanum mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignus, ut intercedete meus, in tanto dec verbos in abeturanum mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Quid retrubum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus queritud mihi, calicem saetaris accipim et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae, et ab inimicis meis salvusero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Quod ore sumpsimus Deum Iesum Christum, puramente capiamus, et immunere temporae fiat nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sumpte sanguis quem potave heribus visceribus meis et praesta, ut in me non remeniat scelerarum macula quem pura et sancta reficerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te, ite missa est. Deum gratia. Placeat tibi sancta Trinitam, obsequium servitutis meae, et praesta ut sacrificium cor oculis tuae, majestatis in minus ulturi tibis et acceptabile mihi et omnibus, pro quibus illud optuli sit te miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Maternam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Maternam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gratias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I adore, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not venerate, do not hope, do not believe, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Maternam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Jesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and the immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Jesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for coming today, and for watching, and for praying. Please go and sanctify all those who you meet, and tomorrow will be Free for All Friday. So send me over some suggestions in the comments or wherever you wish. All right, have a great day. We'll see you.